Welcome everyone to Serving the Tea with Dan Sky and Enos Williams,
a podcast dedicated to get to know players of the GLTA community.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Our guest of the week is one of the loveliest guys on tour with a background in a different sport. He's a tournament director in Italy, a collector of vinyl with a big passion for music, and just a great guy to have around. Coming up next, Nicola Piludu. Welcome, Nick, and how are you today?
Hi, thank you for the invitation, and I'm very good, thank you.
Hello, Nick. Good to have you here.
Let's get started. Ready?
Serve.
All right. Nick, please tell us a little bit of your background. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And what is your current base?
So, I'm Italian from Sardinia, lovely island in the Mediterranean Sea. And I grew up there, studied there. I only did the last year university in Lisbon. And then I left the country in 2006. I moved to Ireland, Dublin for 8 years. And now I'm currently in Switzerland for the last 10 years in Zurich, based in Zurich.
Very interesting.
Yes.
So,
in a nutshell.
if we did our homework well, before starting playing, you've been competing and practicing a different sport, if I'm not wrong. What was the sport, and if you can tell us a little bit more about that journey?
Yeah, so I grew up playing basketball, and that was my main sport from the age of maybe 5, something like that, 6, until exactly when I left to Ireland. So I think I was 26. So I was not professional, but semi-professional, maybe, I don't know. So we had 3 practice a week plus the match. And I always loved other sports, volleyball, tennis, of course, and not football, not so much, even though I come from Italy. Yeah, so it's tennis came into the picture just when I moved to Ireland, basically. Before I was just playing maybe twice a year, something like this, or just alone against the wall after watching tennis on TV. I was watching already when I was growing up, especially because of my brother was also into tennis. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay. So since you mentioned tennis, how did you end up playing? When did you decide to do more than twice a year?
Yeah, so it's exactly coincide with the move to Ireland, because I tried to play basketball in Ireland with 3 different teams, but basketball is not a big sport there, and so it was just 1 practice a week on Sunday evening, very far away, and and in Dublin there was already the tournament that is actually happening right now. The auto tennis group was not formed yet, but there was already a big group of people playing. So I basically start knowing more people, and so that's where it started. In the end, I was a member in a club, so I was also playing the competition in the Dublin County for the club. We had 2 different teams, and so it was it's a bit addictive. So when you start it, then you want to do more and more. So that's why the evolution, let's say, went this way. Yeah.
Right. So tennis is what connected us. Is also what makes our community stronger. But how did you connect with GLTA? And what was the main reason and the main motivation to organize a GLTA tournament in the south of Italy?
Yeah, so it's as I said, it was basically joined this community in Dublin that in the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first GLTA Dublin tournament was in 2011, and then in 2010 there was kind of mock-up tournament just to see if the was going well or not. So it started there. In 2011 I played 3 tournaments. I think was Dublin, New York, because I worked in the East Coast of US for a short time that summer, and then I played London. So the more you play, the more you know people, and then you get, also the friendships start with people. And also in 2012, I start to play more tournaments around Europe and knowing more people. And then also, GLTA can be addictive as well. It's like you want to play because, it's not only about tennis, it's about spending time together. And then it's like, okay, I want to play that tournament as well. And then you play more and more. And yeah, playing, since it's already, I don't know, 13, 14 years now, I always had in mind to do my tournaments in Sardinia, because I saw there were a couple of Italian tournaments, Milan, Turin, Rome, and Bologna as well. So I always wanted to do it. Why I can't do it in Sardinia tournament, and it was always on my mind, especially, but the issue was I'm not living in Sardinia anymore. So it was like, okay, later in my life, I'd like to do it. But then I just talking to local friends, and we just decided to try. And it was the first edition went on in 2022. And so it's still going, still a small tournament, and but yeah, I'm kind of proud of it, because and also in Sardinia, in my town, just bringing, it's an international tournament, bringing people from everywhere, from Canada, San Antonio, Australia, anywhere, to an island, I think it's nice also for the island, say, for the city.
Definitely. I've been there last year, so I can attest to it being small, but also charming, how they advertise apartments in the newspapers. So you told us a little bit about becoming a director. But apart from being away from the place where it is, what are the biggest challenges of organizing a tournament from your perspective?
Yeah, you have to, I think, find of course you can do it by yourself. And even though now there are two friends that help me, I still do most of the work, let's say, because they are not tennis players, they are good friends of mine. But they do help me. So I think it's important to have a good team with passion, that maybe understand more than one people, that knows how the GLTA thing work, like software, but also, just communication and with the players, something like this. And yeah, challenging is, yeah, there are things that you never know. They're not, you can plan, but you cannot read the future. And then many people are showing up, if the venue for the aperitif is going well or not, or staying for dinner, profit. There are always something like a big project with different small projects. So it's fun, but it's a bit challenging sometimes.
So what gives you the
Stressful.
most satisfaction out of it?
I think is to see that the people that come to your tournament, they are having a good time. They're enjoying every part of it, and because you trying to prepare to make the best out of any situation. Sometimes it doesn't go as you planned, but it's yeah, the more important thing is just the reaction of if the players, they feel comfortable during the tournament, if they like it. Yeah.
Right. So changing subjects for a minute, help us as well as the audience to get to know Nick better. how would you describe yourself?
How many hours do you have, or I can be very short or very long?
We'll do it. We'll do an edit. Take your time.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe myself. It looks more like a job interview question.
Oh, definitely.
I think so. I don't know. I can be shy. I think I'm a shy person at first, and people think I'm, you can't talk to me because I'm always in a bad mood, but it's not the case. And yeah, maybe you need more than 10 seconds convince me to talk to you or something like this. And but I don't know. I think it's yeah, I can be shy at the beginning, but in the end, I'm not at all. And so doesn't look like, but I'm a very approachable person, so and open to discussion. Maybe some people think this also happened with my partner, so I'm like, oh, you are arguing, or it's like, no, I'm not. I'm Italian, so it's like we are not arguing, we're just talking. There's no discussion, it's not a big deal. So even though the tone of the conversation sounds maybe different, it's like, no, there's no problem. We are just talking about the weather, or and yeah, more or less it's me. Or ask more
Well,
specific question.
okay. I'm gonna have to edit the hell out of
Oh,
it.
very specific question.
It took so long. But I personally know that you're very passionate about music. You've traveled the world for a specific concert or a show. I know you have a phone reminder to do your music pop quiz every day at 9, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Oh, it's
your
at 11. No, I mean,
passion for music?
yeah, so it's a part of sports is music also came to my life very early, also because of my brother. So we had between us, I think it's around 9 years difference. So basically, even when I was 10, or 11, and he was already listening like teenager music. He was already 18, and so I was listening to the music he was listening, and so it started that way, and it started when I was maybe 12 to listen more to music or music bands. Most of at the beginning of my passion was the most not Italian bands, was more English bands, and so just like to any genre of music, more or less. I can go from pop to alternative music, rock or classic or disco. So yeah, and and I like also enjoy music live. I go here in Switzerland, or I can also travel abroad or another continent. Depends on if the band deserve my presence or not.
So
Yeah,
where was the furthest you went for a concert?
it's Montreal.
And whose was it?
Yeah, The Cure. The Cure is my favorite band. It's my
Okay,
my 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 band. I've
fantastic.
been to 30 concerts.
Well,
Wow.
I can tell that you put a lot of effort into traveling around for the music. So yeah,
Yeah,
speaking
tennis and music and friends.
speaking of music and the passion for music, recently we had the Eurovision contest. Uh, did you watch it? What was your favorite song, and how did you receive the disappointment of Italy not winning the contest, but Switzerland? Because funny enough, you're based in Switzerland.
Yeah, so I can be a winner. Consider myself a winner as well. So yes, I watched Eurovision on last week, both semifinals and the final as well on Saturday. Usually on Saturday we are invited by friends, so there was a party of 16 people with food and drinks and voting. You have your own paper to score the performance of each artist. And I'm happy that Switzerland won. I think it's deserved. And I'm not disappointed about the Angelina Mango arriving seventh. I think I thought she was going to do well, but not winning. But I predicted like top 10. And her performance was not great, but I like the song. And yeah, the funny fact is that basically Italy did not participate for a couple of years to Eurovision. And I found out about Eurovision when I was in Ireland. I was in a pub. It's like, what's this? Because Italy was not taking part between mid 80s and late 90s, something like this, 15, 20 years. So I was really didn't know. Also in Italy, nobody was, showing on TV. Nobody was interested. And now it's very popular also in Italy, like the rest of Europe. So yeah, it's a music wise can be a better competition. Some songs you just forget the next day, but it's a bit maybe like the GLTA of music, bringing people together, and it's not tennis but it's music. And because in the end I like to see the shows with friends and spend time together. Drinks are always involved, and so
I can see that you start, serving some tea. So I will let Enos to ask you more about that.
Good times, good times. First of all, I would like to join the both tennis, GLTA, as you mentioned, and Eurovision. Who would 12 points go to from Nick Piludu? Which tournament is your most favorite?
So I played quite few tournaments, not all of them. I mean, mostly, of course, in Europe. If I have to vote one, I would say Madrid, because even though if it's in the middle of summer with 50 degrees and but I like the tournament. I like the people that run the tournament. The city is very nice, and I know there are a couple of GLTA players. They go there every year, even if they don't play. I played the tournament 3 times. Last time was lucky. I managed to win the doubles with Ivo. And yeah, I would say Madrid if I have to pick one. I think Madrid is one of those, because I did also by myself, for the Sardinia Flamingo Open tournament. It's one of those tournaments you look for, inspiration, let's say, things to do or not to do, and yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We'll pass the trophy to them. Going back to the tea that Dan suggested, can you share some funny stories or some spicy stories maybe from the tournaments you've participated? Who's your biggest crush on GLTA, for example?
I have different ones, so I cannot just say one name.
You can say a couple.
No, really not.
We have time. We can edit them out.
No. No, I think it's also nice. That's another thing that I like of GLTA. If it's like this, you meet friends and new people, and sometimes you find, we are attracted, most of us, by people from the same sex, and sometimes you find someone more attractive than others. So it's sometimes something happens between you and them, or this is general, I'm not referring to myself, of course.
No.
Let's go back to the funny stories, because this is getting awkward.
Yeah. Yes. Funny stories. I mean, let's say this as a funny story. So in 2012, I somehow qualified for the World Championship in Palm Spring after my 3 tournaments in 2011, but I had no clue about the ranking, the points. So I got this email. I thought it was a spam email. It's like, it must be a mistake. It's like, I'm playing D, I only play C doubles, and then it's like, but some people could not go to Palm Springs, so they asked me to go, so I went. It was, of course, my first time in Palm Springs, and at that time I of course was being a newbie on tour. I barely knew someone, especially in the States. But I've been asked at that time. No, not me. They are. So there was James Kidd. There was at the time part of the board. And I knew him briefly because I played London, and so basically he asked someone very experienced already in 2012 in GLTA to take care of me because I was this new European alone in Palm Spring, didn't know what to do. So the person that took care of me was Seamus Skelton or SG John. So basically, it's where our friendship started in Palm Spring. And he was there with his actual husband, with Eddie. So we had nice time together, restaurants, bars. The Jägermeister and Red Bull thing started. And then also we decided to play doubles together that year. So I play more tournaments and meet him different times. So this is the genesis of Seamus, Galton, and me, let's say, in Palm Spring 2012. Is he funny? Is he not? I don't know. But it's a funny fact, let's say.
Well, I mean, that's how friendships, get born and you connect with people. And I think that GLTA is all about that. I mean, look at us today having a podcast.
But do you even know him? Because you didn't mention Jin.
Yeah, he's another player.
So, we discussed about you traveling around the world for concert, also for GLTA. But when it comes to ATP, WTA, how big of a tennis fan or enthusiast are you? Do you travel to watch tennis live? And who's your favorite player at the moment? And who are you cheering for and staying maybe up late and watching matches?
So I haven't traveled a lot for professional tournaments as a spectator. I like to watch both WTA and ATP, of course, Grand Slams. I think I went to Sardinia once. They played the Federation Cup final, Italy against Russia. I think it was 2013, if I'm not mistaken, or 2012. And so I traveled there. Italy won, and I think Paris-Bercy once, Basel I think once or twice, the ATP 500 that is not far from Zurich, and probably that's it. I like to go to all the Grand Slam, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, US Open. Luckily, US Open I managed. I played once the Liberty Open in 2011, so I managed to see and play in those courts. It was just an amazing experience, and of course, I'm postponing my trip to Australia every year, but let's see when I can do it. Hopefully sooner than later. Favorite player, it's a bit obvious at the moment. If you talk about right now, is of course Yannick Sinner.
Oh, cliche.
Yeah, and I just think he's very talented. And many people did not believe in him. Also in Italy, there's last year also issues with the press because he decided not to participate to the semifinal for Davis Cup because he was preparing. I think it was just before the ATP finals, and so some press was against it, like, oh, how dare you you're not representing Italy and blah blah blah. It's not important for you. You're from nearly Austria, Südtirol. You're not really Italian. These stupid comments, and then he proved everybody wrong. They won the Davis Cup, and then months later the first Grand Slam. So, and then there are all the new Italians, very talented at the moment, new guys coming up, and of course it's not even before moving to Switzerland. I'm still a big fan of Federer, of course, and yeah. Do you talk about also female players?
Sure.
I mean, absolutely, feel free.
One of you will be happy, one of you will be not, because she's Polish and she's number one in the world, and I like her playing. And so I'm fan of Swiatek, but also I like Sabalenka. I like Padosa. Others at the moment they are, you know, no. Yeah, in the past I was a big fan of Selesh, so
I don't think we're
Right.
and I,
picky about who we are fans of, and it's not a point of discussion or an argument, so we're safe here.
very good.
Sure, as long as we are recording, we're safe, right? Afterwards, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we're getting closer to the finish line, but the jury hasn't decided on the result of the match. So let's do a quick tiebreak. I will ask you some rapid fire questions and I expect you to answer quickly. Ready?
Serve.
All right, what's your favorite app?
Up, song pop.
What's your favorite current song?
Let's say the winner of Eurovision from Nemo.
And the title?
I don't remember.
All right. Movie you can always go
Must
back
be
to.
the code something.
It
It
is.
is the
See?
A movie you can always rewatch.
A movie you can really rewatch. I like The Planet of the Apes.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Top,
related.
sorry, top, bottom, verse, or side.
Verse.
Single or partnered.
I have a partner.
All right, that's a first fault. Second serve, monogamous or open relationship.
Open relationship.
All right, what's your favorite cocktail?
I like gin tonic.
Okay. And the last question, what is your favorite tennis shot?
I would say forehand.
Okay.
Still work in progress, but yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah, I definitely I loved the pause, you know.
Mm.
I sense some shade. Well, that's a game, set, and match. Thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you. It was
Right.
very. That's it.
No, we are
Say
not letting you go before homework, you know. You win or you learn, you never lose. So your homework for us is if you'd like to ask a spicy question or a regular question to some fellow GLTA player, please let us know, send us a WhatsApp or an email, and once we will have a chance to interview your crush, we might address the question.
Anonymously or disclosing your identity. Depends on you.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. That's the only thing you can decide.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Well,
Cool.
with that,
Well,
we're wrapping up this interview. It was a lovely time to get to know you, Nick. Thank you to all our viewers. Thank you to whoever subscribes, follows, and likes. And let's have a great week, shall we? See you next week.
thank you,
Bye.
boys. And thank you for your time, Nick. See you soon. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.